Joplin's Easttown Dreams District hosting the city's first ever Black Expo. We'll also take you to Carl Junction's Business Expo. The annual Lavender Festival taking place in Fort Scott today. Today is Juneteenth, a time for celebration, but also reflection.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Joplin Empire Market held its first ever regional Black Expo. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Chris Warner. Now, the event was meant to highlight underutilized Black-owned businesses and get them the same exposure as other businesses. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky tells us why those in attendance felt an event like this was necessary for the community.
Juneteenth just became a federal holiday, making some say that this year it has even greater significance.
But having it pass now, we've been celebrating it regardless, but it has a greater significance now that it is a federal holiday, and we're excited for that.
To celebrate the holiday, the Easttown Dreams District hosted Joplin's first regional Black Expo.
It is highlighting underutilized businesses that don't necessarily get the heavy exposure that most businesses do. And it just happens to coordinate with Juneteenth, so we're excited about that.
Melody Colbert-King, event organizer, says she hopes the event will open new doors for Black business owners.
It's important because a lot of these people haven't been in the mainstream exposure, mainstream marketing, and this is a chance for people to see them in a different light that they may not have ever come across them.
One vendor is sharing her incarcerated brother's artwork and says she hopes by doing so, it can show that being incarcerated is not defining.
He's been incarcerated for a long time. We just want to show people that they're not all bad people, that there is a purpose, and we just want to show everybody that so they can see that they're not just criminals. They are good people. They just need a chance to showcase their talents.
One participant says the event itself and Juneteenth holds special importance.
This vendor event is really important to me and really special, being that it is the Joplin Regional Juneteenth Black Expo, and with Juneteenth just recently being, considered as a federal holiday. So it's a blessing. I'm honored to be here today.
She says it's just one of the many ways to show support to the Black community.
Really make it known, to really say, hey, we're here and we're supporting, and here it is. We're here. It's in your hands. It is now in your hands to support the Black community in Juneteenth.
In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Another hot one across the 4 states today, Nick. Any chances it's going to cool off?
Well, we did see just a little bit of a drop in temperatures today compared to yesterday, Chris, but we're going to get true relief from the heat as we go into the week ahead of us. But at least it still looks nice from 7th and Range line. But it was nice to see the sun set after we saw a high topping out near 90. Not too terrible this morning, lows starting out around 74. I didn't have anything to track across the area today. Maybe a little bit of cloud cover, that's about it. Granted, I was keeping an eye on a few storms between Columbia and St. Louis, but the bigger, more impressive storms are passing along and north of the I-70 corridor in northwestern Kansas. That's where those storms will stay throughout the course of the night. But all these storms hinting at our next front on the way in, which will give us a good break from the heat. Upper 70s right now to some spots near 80, but it feels like we're near 80 with a little bit of that humidity still in place. Quick look at the day ahead, though. We will see a quiet start in the morning, lows dropping back to about 71, but I think we're dry through much of the day tomorrow, Chris, but highs will be back near 93. It's Monday. That's when we'll start to see the break in the heat. We'll see how low temperatures will go here in a bit.
All right, never thought I'd say it, but I'm looking forward to Monday.
I think we all will.
Nick, thank you so much. And hey, don't forget to help plan your day and even the week ahead. Take the Skywatch Weather Team with you wherever you go. How do you do that? Just head over to the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, search for the Skywatch Weather app, download it today. It's that easy and it's free, and you can keep Doug, Nick, and Michael with you 24/7. Well, a stolen car from Carthage is recovered in Baxter Springs. Now, this morning, 2 suspects were taken into custody after Cherokee County Sheriff's deputies found a stolen car being hid in the garage of a Baxter Springs home. Now, officials say they received information late this week on an unrelated investigation, which took them to the Baxter Springs home. And again, 2 people have been arrested. Earlier today, the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce held their annual Expo Land. The Business Expo is an opportunity for area businesses and organizations to get out in the community and let people know about what they do. The event was for all ages and had activities for kids, such as a balloon artist. One nonprofit aimed at promoting adult literacy was at the event to help spread the importance of their mission.
We're just really excited as a chamber that we're able to finally, through the last year and being the shutdown, and I know it's so important to our businesses and organizations to really get their name out there. Over the past year, they haven't really got to do a lot of marketing, so this is our opportunity to sort of give back to the community.
Joplin-Nala not only covers the Joplin area, but then also really just the southwest Missouri area as well. So we're here in Carl Junction, again, just promoting the word, spreading the word, spreading the importance of adult literacy, and trying to just be available and trying to be good resources.
The Chamber says the event gave businesses from all over the area, including Joplin, Neosho, and Carthage, a chance to come to Carl Junction and interact with parts of the community they normally wouldn't. Well, dozens of folks took time today, despite the heat, to get outside and enjoy the lavender fields. The Lavender Patch held its annual Lavender Festival east of Fort Scott. Betsy and David Reichert started the small lavender farm in 2010, and this is the 4th year they've invited the community to a summer festival. It celebrates the beginning of the lavender harvest. Folks took part in several activities, including a hands-on children's fairy garden, while enjoying the beauty of nature and the sound of music.
We have U-Picks where you can pick some lavender, walk through the fields, take as many pictures as you want. We have someone doing braiding hair with lavender going, just a whole bunch of activities. We're even selling lavender plants.
You can catch the Lavender Patch Farm booth at various festivals in Kansas. Plenty of people packed Miami's Riverview Park Pavilion today, all for the Miami Any OK Pride 2021 celebration. Organizers say they wanted to bring people together as a show of equality, tolerance, and love. The event featured tons of cool things to check out, including local vendor booths, drag pageants, live music, a DJ, and plenty of activities for the kids. One attendee tells us that she came to the event to celebrate who she is and to show that same support to others in her community. Local law enforcement asking drivers to be patient with area farmers. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office took to Facebook. Officials are asking you to give them some extra room and again to be patient as they move their machinery from one field to the next. Well, today is Juneteenth, marking the date in 1865 that enslaved people in Galveston, Texas were told they were finally free. Now, Juneteenth is a time for celebration, but also reflection on the harsh realities newly freed black people faced and the long civil rights struggle that goes on today. CBS's Skylar Henry has more.
From dancing in the nation's capital to a parade in Galveston, Americans across the country are celebrating Juneteenth. Now a federal holiday after President Biden signed the Juneteenth National Independence Day Act into law on Thursday. The first federal holiday since Martin Luther King Jr. Day was declared in 1983.
I think that connection to the past is what we really have done well and reminded people of, that it didn't start yesterday.
Kevin Young is the director of the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture.
How should the nation celebrate, remember the day?
That tradition of having Emancipation Day festivities, celebrating with singing, lift every voice and sing, with food, with fellowship, that's a big part of African American culture. And we have to remember that joy and pleasure are important aspects of resilience.
We have this case here in the exhibition on slavery and freedom.
That resilience is what those who were newly free needed to literally survive. Museum curator Mary Elliott.
What was that time like for those who had received the word that they were free now?
Well, it wasn't met with joy, jubilation with everyone, quite obviously. There was confusion. It was met with violence, violent reprisal to those people who were enslaved and now gained their freedom. Just walking around being free was dangerous.
And what followed was more than a century and a half of protests for civil rights.
Putting it in the federal calendar allows us to ask this country a question. Are y'all ready for everybody to be equal?
Dr. Greg Carr heads the African American Studies Department at Howard University and attended this week's bill signing at the White House.
Juneteenth has never been about celebration only. It's celebration paired with protest. It is remembering paired with action. If we don't do the action, if we don't do the protesting and the demanding, then we're not celebrating Juneteenth.
A call for not only action, but reflection Dr. Carr says, gauging how far this country has come and how far it has left to go. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Check out this Juneteenth celebration. It took place in the Lone Star State. In the Dallas-Fort Worth area, tons of Texans showed up for the Opal Lee Walk. They also called for more action against racial injustice. The walk goes for 2.5 miles and commemorates the fact that enslaved people in Texas learned that they were free more than 2 years after President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation was signed. And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Walter Venus Jr. served in the Army from 1967 to 1969 in Vietnam. His hometown, Fairland. We're proud to recognize Walter Venus Jr., tonight's four-state hero. And remember, to view all our heroes or nominate one of your own, just head over to our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. And that's a look at our top stories and a quick check of that forecast on the KOAM News at 10. Still ahead, Tropical Storm Claudette blamed for tornado damage in Alabama. Plus, it's the first Saturday since California officially reopened.
Today.
Things are getting back to normal on the Mississippi coast. Tropical Storm Claudette became a tropical storm at 4 this morning and caused some damage in the southern states. We've got more now from CBS's Omar Villafranca.
This is what's left behind in Bruton, Alabama. Drone footage shows the splintered remains of homes and schools after Tropical Storm Claudette triggered a suspected tornado. Trucks jumbled in the debris, along with trees toppled by high winds. Parts of the roof ripped off this high school auditorium. At least 50 structures were either damaged or demolished. In the nearby Florida Panhandle, the storm pummeled beaches with wind and relentless rain. Rain also blanketed Biloxi. 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts were reported in parts of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. The storm hit on what was supposed to be a busy Father's Day weekend. Down in the bayou in Crown Point, Louisiana, Darren Coulon had to cancel his alligator swamp tours.
Of course, with weather like this, you know you can't run. But weekends, holidays, that's when tourists are coming down here and trying to see what attractions you have.
Claudette dropped more than 10 inches of rain in Slidell, Louisiana. Police made multiple rescues after as many as 50 vehicles were swamped in the floods. The temperature is expected to be in the 80s, so what doesn't drain off will eventually dry off as this storm moves east. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Biloxi, Mississippi.
Well, very busy Saturday in LA as people enjoying all the reopenings, including last night's first full capacity crowd at Staples Center for the Clippers' big win. It's starting to feel like normal. CBS's Lilia Luciano has the story.
It's the first Saturday since California fully reopened, and crowds are filling the streets. 73% of adults in the state are at least partially vaccinated. And there's a new digital system to show they got their dose, no paper card needed.
It makes it more convenient to go places that, require it.
Nationally, 65% of adults are at least partially vaccinated, but 30 states lag behind, with Mississippi, Louisiana, Wyoming, and Alabama at the bottom. In 3 of those states, new COVID cases are increasing. Dr. Suzanne Judd is with the University of Alabama at Birmingham.
The concern if states don't catch up is that they could be facing another COVID outbreak in the fall.
How big of a risk does this Delta variant pose?
It's a big risk in people that are unvaccinated. It spreads more rapidly than the traditional coronavirus variants that we've seen in the past.
Canada will keep its borders closed to American travelers for another month. In Florida, cruises will soon resume after a federal judge ruled to lift the CDC's no-sail order. Another sign of progress, tonight, New York's iconic Radio City Music Hall reopens to a vaccinated full house. Well, the majority of people in LA aren't wearing masks outside. Inside, they're still required in many places for the unvaccinated. Lilia Luciano, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Around the 4 states, we're singing hot, hot, hot. That really describes the last several days. I'm not allowed to sing, and that's why. So what does the future hold? Not me singing, and Nick Kelly. And he's got his complete forecast right after this.
What we're doing.
Thankfully, a pretty quiet day all around, partly to mostly sunny skies. Well, at least the view from Indigo Sky outside of Seneca, Missouri showed skies more on the mostly sunny side of things, and that certainly did mean temperatures wasted no time heating up once again. Believe it or not, though, with a good south breeze throughout the day, we actually trended a little bit cooler compared to yesterday's highs, right around 93 degrees. We dropped back into the mid 70s this morning. You saw earlier how Joplin Regional started the day at 74, and yeah, it was hot again, but a high of 90 certainly is better than the mid 90s yesterday and the higher humidity we had throughout the day as well. Still looking quiet from 7th and Ranch Line at 10:20 on the Saturday night. Still kind of warm, still kind of muggy though. 77 degrees, feels like 79 with the dew point sitting still in the upper 60s. Everyone's pretty much in the same ballpark, upper 70s to near 80 all across the board. Factor in the dew points though, even though they're in the upper 60s, so it's not too terrible. It does feel like we're in the upper 70s to about the lower, if not mid 80s at this point on our Friday night. Nope, it's Saturday night, continuing on throughout this weekend. I haven't had anything to track throughout the course of the day. That being said, I was keeping an eye on some scattered storms that have still been trying to backbuild toward Columbia, including close to Boonville, and let's say close to Sedalia. But if we venture out to the west, can't help but notice this vigorous complex of thunderstorms plowing through northern parts of Kansas. These are packing a good punch with wind speeds between 60 and 80 miles per hour, but that part of the complex is staying well to the north of us throughout the night, and any rain trying to hold on in southwestern Kansas will fall apart before it even thinks about heading toward us. So we're dry overnight, still on the warm side of the front for tomorrow, so it's going to be hot and humid again. But once we get this stationary front to come on through as a cold front starting tomorrow night and certainly on Monday, that is when we're going to see some welcome relief from the heat. We're already seeing evidence of that in the upper levels with the upper level ridge being shunted back to the west, finally allowing that next frontal system to move on in. Again, those thunderstorms out in Kansas. The worst of it stays to the north. Any straggling showers trying to come our way through Wichita, they'll pretty much fall apart as we get through the rest of the morning ahead of us, but it is going to lead to another hot and humid day. Underneath partly to mostly sunny skies, we will go from 71 in the morning to 88 by noon, and then topping out around 93. But here's 9 o'clock Sunday evening. Ahead of the cold front, we can see the thunderstorms wanting to build and try to work south and east. So we'll have to watch these as we go into late tomorrow night into Monday morning. Some of them could be strong, but I'm not expecting any severe weather. But with this front still around for Monday, we're going to hold on to periods of rain and thunderstorms, but look at the temperatures throughout Monday. We're going to be seeing them drop into the 60s and 70s throughout the day. In fact, you can see how we go from 93 on your Father's Day to 80 at midnight and then dropping between the 70s and 60s throughout Monday. Then behind that front, boy, those numbers look nice. 77 tomorrow, 85 Wednesday, and then maybe some lower 90s by Thursday, Chris. But this is the relief from the heat that we need, and it's on the way. I'm looking forward to that relief. Like I said, Monday is going to be a great day in the area. Yeah, some rain that some of us can catch up on, and that break from the heat. Looking forward to it. Nick, thank you so much. Some exciting news. There is a local athlete at the Olympic trials.
That's PSU's javelin thrower Brett Thompson. We'll take a look at some of his prelim results coming up. Plus, we'll hear Outlaws head coach Chris Dawson's thoughts on the team's upcoming games. That and more next.
Smart choice.
Javelin thrower Brett Thompson is representing PSU at the U.S. Olympic Trials in Eugene, Oregon. Today is the prelims, and the top 12 finishers will move on to the finals. Thompson's best throw of the day was his last, reaching 230 feet, and that puts him in 9th place in the 24-man field. So with that, Thompson qualifies for the finals on Monday night. The Kansas Basketball Coaches Association's All-Star Games are today, and in the girls' game, 3 incoming freshmen at Pitt State are playing. Grace Pyle puts up a team-high 14 points and also has 4 rebounds. Sydney Holmes finishes with 8 points and 6 rebounds, and Karina Gerber adds 6 points and 3 rebounds. We're 12 games through the summer baseball season, and the Outlaws have a 7-5 overall record. That's good enough to earn them the first place spot in the South Division. Joplin has also won their past 2 games, sweeping their series against Chillicothe. They scored 32 runs over the 2 games, including a 16-6 victory on Friday. The Outlaws trailed 6-2 in the 5th inning, before coming back to win the game in 7 innings. Head coach Chris Dawson is pleased with where the team is at as they head into a tough string of games.
It feels really good. Anytime you can end games like this, and build momentum going forward, it's awesome for our guys. They get to take a little bit of a break sooner than, playing 9, and gets us ready for the next couple of days. A tough road game with Jefferson, and then we're back here for Nevada, who took one at their place from us, and then we got Jefferson City again on the road. So the next 3 games are going to be huge. They're going to be tough games, and we just got to keep doing what we've been doing.
The Outlaws play Jefferson City on the road tomorrow at 7. In the big leagues, Kansas City able to snap a 6-game skid on Friday with a nice 5-3 win over the Red Sox. Tonight is game 2 of the series, game tied at 1 here in the 4th. This one hit hard up the line, but Rafael Devers is there to make a nice play for the out. Next inning, Bobby Dahlbeck to the wall, an RBI triple. That gives the Sox the lead. And then they really start to pull away. J.D. Martinez, 2-run homer here. And to top it off in the 9th, another 2-run shot coming up here. Boston gets the 7-1 victory to even up the series. We'll be right back with more sports.
Well, in connection with Juneteenth, which is today, CBS is airing the movie Selma tomorrow night at 7. Selma chronicles Dr. Martin Luther King's epic 1965 march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama to protect equal voting rights for African Americans. And again, that movie airing tomorrow night at 7, right after 60 Minutes here on KOAM TV. Danny, quick final check of sports. Anything we missed that's happening?
No Cards tonight. Unexpected postponement, so they'll have a doubleheader tomorrow against the Braves to make up for it.
Hopefully they can get some more wins in the W. They really need to.
They do.
They do. Something that is a win coming up Monday.
Yeah, we just got to get past another hot and humid day tomorrow, but we're dry for much of Father's Day. Highs near 93. But tomorrow night and Monday, that's when the cold front starts working in. Rain and thunderstorm chances picking up, but 80 and dropping throughout the day on Monday. And behind that, maybe starting at 51 Tuesday morning and a high of 77 on Tuesday afternoon. That's going to feel chilly, but it's rather refreshing.
I'm looking forward to that. Nick, thank you. Danny, thank you. And thanks for making us part of your night.